Hello, boys and girls. This is day 5 of the Great Escape. I hope you've had a good time learning all these lessons from God this week. On Monday, we talked about promise. On Tuesday, we talked about preparation. On Wednesday, we talked about problems. Nobody likes problems, do they? Yesterday we talked about provision. And now today we're going to talk about power. God's power. And in our lessons today, we're going to see how God used his great power to help the children of Israel. And then again, how he used his great power to help us. Right. So let's take a look at this a little bit. You know that God has any kind of power there is. He has all of it. Any power that ever exists, he has that power. He has all the power. We say he is omnipotent. That means he has all power. But what if I want to use his power? What if I want to trust him to show his power in my life? Well, I need to trust him, and I need to hang on to him with all of my might. But sometimes I'm not trusting in him that well. Maybe I'm only holding on to him with one hand instead of two hands. I'm not trusting him that well. I need to trust him more. I need to trust him in everything I do, in everything he wants me to do. I need to trust him. And then I get his power, see? But what if I sin? We've learned this week that sin separates us from God. But when we trust in Jesus, our sin is all forgiven, isn't it? Past, present, and future, it's all forgiven. But what about after I trust in Jesus? If I sin, well, that's a problem. Because yesterday we learned that when I sin and I don't confess my sin, that stops God's blessings in my life. It stops his provision. It can't get through because I haven't confessed my sin. But what about God's power? Well, let's say that this black glove represents sin in my life. Okay? And so I've sinned and I haven't confessed it yet. And I want God's power in my life. So I'm grabbing onto God with both hands, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Because I have sin in my life that I haven't confessed. What do I mean by confessing it? I mean admitting that I did it. admitting that I'm wrong, that what I did was wrong, that it was sin. And I tell God that. And then he forgives me. And then if I'm trusting in him and holding on to him, he will give me his power again. All right. So stay tuned for lesson number 1, where we're going to see how God used his great power to help the Israelites. All right. See you later.